Your Latina girl, Carmen Contreras, with Amber Neal. Hey, Amber, the relationship expert. How are you?
Hey, girl. Hey, happy Friday.
Yes, it is Friday, but really quick, let's talk about what went down on Sunday. Now, you're the relationship expert. You do a lot of appearances with Isaiah Carey on Fox 26. So on Sunday, I was, at home drinking my glass of wine, enjoying Adele with Oprah Winfrey. And then everybody saw that engagement, the proposal. And then afterwards, it went crazy. Like, we went from watching a great show, love is in the air, to a toxic relationship. Danny Lay and the baby on live, Instagram, online. Like, everybody saw. Why? Why go on live? And I get it. He was probably, he was protecting himself because nowadays what we need, everything goes on cameras, videos. Why go on IG live? What toxic relationship? How does it get to this level?
Well, you got to understand, too, Carmen, people on that level of fame, as they say, there's no bad press. I mean, it's going to come out what he said, she said. So I think when somebody goes live like that, they're just trying to show you so that you can be the judge and you don't have to hear he said, she said, because they are celebrities. And it is going to be the repercussions for the negative things that can come out can make or break their career. So I think it's a protection to just go on live so that there are witnesses, and it possibly prevents it from escalating to something super violent if they know they're being recorded.
Okay, I understand that. But the baby just got canceled not too long ago with the LGBTQ community. So you would think that he would be like walking on eggshells right now,
Yeah.
And from what I don't know who started taping first. When I came across everything that was popping off on Instagram, I was like, wait, what's going on here? Wait, what? I was really like, my buzz was completely gone from the wine that I was drinking. And I completely forgot about the, proposal, the engagement with the Adele show with Oprah Winfrey. And now I'm sitting here looking at Danny Lay like, leave, get out, take your baby with you. But then again, this is a 3-month baby. Where is she going to go? Then she came back and got online, on live and was like, I didn't have anywhere to go, and then she stayed there. And then now cops get called. She's charged with assaulting the baby. I'm not about violence, Yeah. He just kept pushing her to that level. It was almost like he was pushing her to get her to like really go crazy. Mind you, she's dealing with a newborn. Hormones are going everywhere, and now she's got this, assaulting case against him, which, I'm sorry, but I would have been crazy. I would have started throwing chairs at TVs. I feel like he should have left, even though it was his house. Okay. Walk out, walk around the block, go somewhere. This is your child. And then the energy that this baby is around. She was feeding her child, and then he gets on Instagram and shows the baby, the baby, his child, the daughter.
It's crazy, but this all goes back to it all goes back to a lot of things I talk about very often is the self-love journey. She played herself from the jump in this relationship. And at the end of the day, I feel like we're out here getting pregnant by men. We don't even know if they're going to stay with us. And a baby don't keep a man. Getting married to a man don't keep a man. Nothing keeps a man but a man that wants to be kept, period. And so even though if you go back and look at all of their history through their social
too much
media,
history, yeah.
For him to sit there, that was just a hateful dig to say that she was a certified side chick, because now he looks stupid because we all know that's not true, first of all. Second of all, she may have played herself because he had broke up with her during the pregnancy.
Right.
And then, she's like, well, I'm a fool because I went back and whatever. But I think that's very normal. Most people want to try to work it out.
For the child.
For the child, but at what cost?
But, yeah.
Your dignity, your pride, your self-respect. I mean, where are those things? Because that's what, if I was talking to her, I'd want to know, because now she's already put herself through that, but now she's made herself, she's painted herself in a light to where any man in the future will look at her as damaged goods. You know what I'm saying? Because she's tolerated it.
Yeah, and the next relationship that she gets into, she's going to bring this previous relationship into the next relationship,
Exactly. She's got to go heal.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to co-parent.
They both need healing. They both need healing. And, us women, we need to have our shit together So when a fucking man says pack up your shit and go, okay, bye, bitch. I got the money. I got the credit card. I can go to a hotel. I'm taking my baby. You know what I'm saying? But she did say that she didn't know where, or she didn't have friends where she was at. Danny Lay, you've came out with music. You mean to tell me you ain't had no money? Like, and then the crazy part was you're in his house, and it's because she got quiet there on Instagram. And I feel like, okay, let me ask you this. Do you think that they put way too much, or celebrities, couples, put way too much of the relationship online for the world to see? Like, do you think it's just way too much? Do you feel like sometimes, hey, they don't have to put that much out there? Because my husband hates social media. He hates it. And, I tell him, hey, babe, I always tell him, like, hey, can we post this picture of us together? Because believe it or not, I get DMs. Like, I will get a DM like, oh, you're not wearing your wedding ring. Are y'all still together? Yeah. But I just try to keep my husband private. He hates social media. He's like, it's just toxic. I hate it, but being in this type of business that I'm in, that you're in also, we have to be on social media, Do you look at it like, okay, they put way too much business out there. Like, we don't need to know all that. Because Danny Lay gets trolled a lot. She gets trolled a lot. And then, like, I did see some people that were saying, oh, you guys are talking about Danny Lay, but you're the same person that's in that same situation, as Danny Lay. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing. We've got to quit victim shaming people. We got to make it normal to have mental health and talk about these things, because people don't know what they don't know. But to answer your question, absolutely. The more you put in the public, the more people are going to attack. Once you understand that you can do something great for a great cause, great purpose, you could do something helping kids, old ladies, the orphans, it don't matter. But there's always going to be some miserable trolls that don't have nothing better to do than sit there and talk about your relationship, because they don't even have one to talk about. And the thing is that the more, I always think that until you at least are married or at least engaged, I've learned the hard way from being in the public eye. I'm not putting my relationship, you won't even know if I'm with somebody now.
That is true, because I don't know who you with. I don't know.
Nobody does.
You're right.
But that's on purpose, because I did go high publicity in the last relationship, and I regretted it every single minute, because it does come to attack. And just like the girls that are coming out here, even if it's not true, they're going to try to start stuff with her, and vice versa. So people are miserable, and they're going to try to intervene in anything that is positive. But when it's toxic is not, there's not a gray area. It's toxic. She needs to run. She needs to go heal, and she needs to find out why she even attracted him from the beginning.
And then
she has to own that part.
So apparently he got mad because she got a Plan B sent to his house, and he saw it, and from what she said is he doesn't have responsibilities. He wants to go raw, and she's like, no, but when you're in a situation like that, I would figure you have a 3-month and he's not respecting you enough to, like, hey, put a condom on, then you need to go. It's time for you to move on. He don't respect you.
And that's where, as women, we've got to be true to ourselves. If it's not, you know what you need, you know what you want, and why do we settle for less than what we want? Having a piece of a man or a part of a man or a broke down person in general that's not healed, that's only going to get you more drama. That's where we have to get on our self-love journey and do what's best for us. And sometimes that means you got to be alone for a while. You got to heal. The self-love journey is not a dual, it's not a project, it's not a team sport. You got to go on your self-love journey so you can understand why you're attracting those people, so you can heal from that and understand a lot of this goes back to our childhood, what we saw or didn't see or didn't have.
I was about to say that. It goes back to the childhood, what you saw growing up. I was about to say that. And then, how he called her, a side bitch. And
man, please.
I lost the respect I had for the baby. Really, I did.
Well, he looked real stupid saying that.
Yeah,
because we all know better.
And then she comes out with receipts. Oh, really? For my birthday, I was on a boat with you. And I'm just like, oh, it just got way out of control. Even her mom, who came out with a statement, she even got attacked. Without going too much into my past relationship, I was in a relationship before my husband, up and down relationship. You can ask for help or advice, and then your friends give it to you. But it's really up to you when you know, like, okay, the time is here. I gotta go. Someone that I know, like on Instagram, you think their relationship is like perfect.
Facebook.
But then I'll get a text message. Do you think I'm fat? Why? Why do you say that? I asked my man if I could go somewhere to eat, and he was like, no, you're fat. I'm like, okay, so
Wow.
he's calling you fat, and no, you're not fat. And that's going to lead to something else, and it'll lead to something else. But
Exactly.
you're constantly posting, solid, we're happy. Don't come
Right.
to me for advice if I'm going to keep it real with you and tell you, because I've been with my husband. We've been married 17 years. We've been together over 20 years. Now, has it been the perfect relationship? No.
No,
But
no
we're
such
married.
thing.
But we're
No
married.
such thing.
And we learn every single day. We are learning something about each other. When you get married, they don't give you a blueprint. Our relationship is we communicate now more than ever. We pray together. Now, there is times where we might have disagreements, and I'll be like, hey, I'll be right back. And I'll walk outside. Literally, I might walk to the mailbox and come back and be like, okay, I'm good. Let's talk. So we've gotten to that level. You know what I mean? A relationship, you got to work at it every single day. And I was just so disgusted by what I saw with Dababy and Dababy because it's toxic. There's no communication. And it's almost like he wants to control her, like controlling, and they're both in the same industry. And I didn't know that she was living with him.
Apparently he didn't either. It's so cold-hearted because you're literally telling her as she's feeding her baby, like, get out. You know what I mean? But here's the thing I want to really stress, Carmen.
His child.
Your baby.
Your baby.
Your baby.
You're kicking out your baby, too.
But here's the thing I want to stress, because we have other relationship experts that I won't give no press to because they're moronic. But the thing is that you've got relationship experts out here teaching people the word high-value men, high-value women, right? And the problem is they're putting the value on things that can change, on things that are not important. The things you want to look for in a mate is if they're going to look after your soul, your spirit, your well-being, you're equally yoked. You have a foundation of a friendship. You are not putting value on things. I said this about one of my other friends. I'm like, hey, y'all are bonding over an 8-ball. What do you think's going to happen? I mean, you know what I'm saying? So we have to get down to that part where when you get so excited to meet somebody, what are you really excited about? What is this an ego-based thing or is this something deeper? Because we look at this the surface level and we don't get to the character, because this looks like to me in the culture we live in where even 85% of women surveyed in a recent study I saw admitted they have a plan B, guys. So women have side dudes just like men do, and everybody's confused because that's why we're fighting so hard to prove that real love exists, because not everybody's like that. But when you got two people cut from the same cloth that kind of like do whatever they want to do and play games with each other, what do they think is going to happen? It's obvious that they're both toxic.
Yeah, and one thing that my mom always told me growing up, you brush off your parents when they give you advice, and then once they die, you're like, damn, I should have listened to my mom. I know what you meant. My mom always told me.
I just said that today.
She always said, growing up, when I started liking boys, she said, always find a man that's going to love you more than you love them so you can pack up your shit and walk out faster. And I was like, what? She said, and always have money saved up in a shoebox, always have something. So if that man ever tells you, get out, okay. And so, but did I take her advice? No, because when I was in a relationship before my husband, he was always cheating on me. I was always breaking up and getting back together, breaking up and getting back together. Finally, one day I just said, this is it. Like, I gotta go. I can't be doing this. It's not right.
Your word. You knew your worth. You know this is not God's best for me. This ain't it.
Do you think this relationship this toxic relationship, this hot ass mess we saw on Instagram, they can repair it and get back together, or is it like damage? Like that's it. Like there's just no way she can forgive him and get back with him and just move on.
Well, it really depends on if there's any level of narcissism here on his part, because he kind of showed a little bit of that.
Yeah.
And he really showed it is about him. They'll be the abuser, and then they'll flip it around to where they make the victim look crazy, and they make them look like they're the ones starting the drama. So I think he showed a little bit of narcissism, so it makes me feel like it's going to be fine as long as he can keep his mask on and try to look good for the world. But if it's something based in truth that's not about ego, I think it'll fall apart because it's not real. It's toxic because it's about ego. It's about self. So I think that if you can still go to therapy, but therapy is only as good as you are honest. If you're going to sit there and lie your ass off, or you're not self-aware enough to know that you are the narcissist or you are the problem, then you can tell them all day long that if they don't get it, they will never get it. I think they're both toxic, and they need to get the hell away from each other and learn how to be friends and peacefully co-parent, and maybe in the future, because I think they have love for each other. I think they really do. But sometimes things get hard, and let's keep in mind he is under pressure from just being canceled. So I'm sure this timing of everything, a new baby, stressful work, it all piles up to where you get an explosion like this that may not have even happened if he wasn't going through so much stress with his career.
So I think they both need to take a break from each other. It's a child involved.
Right.
And what's your reaction? How do you feel about the brother getting on Instagram, threatening? And I totally get it. The baby disrespected his sister, but I feel like that's something you handle like off the internet and on the streets out and about. You know what I mean?
He seems like he's just self-sabotaging right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. And I think she's caught up in the middle of it. But the thing is, she's not true to herself, because she should have required a deeper level of commitment before she just, before she got herself in that situation. And if you're putting yourself in a situation where you don't even have friends, you don't have no support system, she put herself in a bad situation, and now she's got to get out of it. But I think as the father of her child, he should at least care if she has a roof over her head or where she's going to go. But when you're in ego like that, that is a selfishness that there's no logic that can be expected out of that. But as you see, Carmen, we got fake book relationships, and then we find out the hard way that it's not always true.
And I mean, she could have called anybody. She didn't want to go out there in the streets with her baby, but you know how many women go out in the streets with their baby when they get kicked out?
Hello. But I agree with you as far as, like, my mom was given up for adoption because my grandpa was alcoholic, and my grandma wound up giving up all her kids for adoption because she didn't have no money or no resources to take care of her kids. So if we don't learn nothing from this, don't put yourself in any situation to get pregnant, be a single mom, do any of that, because it's avoidable. And if you know that you can get pregnant, and they know it too, but y'all have not sat down and agreed to have another kid, then that's where this is coming from. Whether she took a plan B or he didn't want it, it doesn't matter. They didn't discuss it, and they're being reckless. They're like, we'll just, whatever happens, happens. And that's what's happening when you have no proper planning and communication. Right.
Communication.
Y'all out there willy-nilly and just, I hope it works out. And then now y'all are fighting because y'all never talk.
That's very important to have communication. Communicate in a relationship. It's very important.
How many kids we bringing into the world? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's an important. And why would you even put yourself at a risk to get pregnant again if you know that he ain't even interested in the one you got already?
I just hate how he got on live with the baby. But I mean, at the end of the day,
I hate that
the
too.
baby, that's his baby. When that baby grows up, once you put it on the internet, it's out forever on the net, you know? And that energy, just the baby, and I get it, 3 months, the baby don't know. The energy. Look, if my dogs know when I'm sad and I fucking cry, and they come near me and start hugging me. So a child, you know what I'm saying? But I appreciate you for calling me and talking about this. What is your website? Where can the listeners reach out to you if they need relationship advice?
Yes, it's real easy to remember. It's just my name. It's Amber Neal, Neal.com, amberneal.com.